friends. Happy Friday. Welcome to the long weekend. Whatever you are celebrating this weekend, including Valentine's Day, I hope it is a great one for you. Welcome to a Listener DMs episode of Scott Fox After 9. Today, I'm going to be reading messages that have come in from listeners throughout the week. Now, typically, on a Friday, Anna Almeida will join me. However, Anna has some work responsibilities that she is taking care of at the moment, so it's going to be just me. And before I get into the DMs, I said yesterday, today is a very important day in my career. I'll take just 2 seconds and explain this to you. It was February the 13th, 2001. I hosted my very first radio morning show. It's been 25 years. So I asked ChatGPT, could you actually try and calculate how many morning radio shows you think I've done in the last 25 years? And frankly, the number was shocking. Over 6,000 times have I started the day at 5:30 a.m. and said, good morning. Over 6,000 times. It's pretty wild to think about it. So, hey, if you're one of my day ones, if you're one of the people who's been listening for a very long time, then I appreciate you very much. We have been on a long journey together, 25 years of morning radio, and I am celebrating that. And at the time, I did not know, but now I'm aware, February 13th is World Radio Day. So there you go. On World Radio Day, it is my radio anniversary. So big day, kind of. 25 years. I don't know if this is the last one, if I'm halfway through, 2/3 of the way through, or done. I have no idea. But either way, it's been 25 great years in radio, and I've certainly met some incredible people along the way. And if you're one of them, I think you know who you are. I hope you do. I appreciate the heck out of you. Let's get into today's listener DMs. We're going to start off with one here from Sarah. Hey, Scott, I know you're going through a lot of messages, but as a day one listener, there's one right there. Hey, Sarah. She says, I really value your perspective on our country and current events. Your podcast is part of my daily lunchtime routine. I truly appreciated your show on Tumbler Ridge and the compassionate, respectful way that you addressed it. That really mattered. I'm glad you're running. I look forward to hearing what you're running for. If I'm able to vote, you've got mine. This country needs more of your perspective. Keep doing what you're doing. You're making a difference. Sarah, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I'm glad I could start off the Listener DMs episode with that one. Thank you. This one from Maria. Hey, Scott. Donald Trump's name is all over the Epstein files. I've seen many posts that talk about him and show his name in documents, as well as recordings that talk about some of the horrible things he's done. Sounds like he is definitely involved. Maybe his call to the FBI was to throw everyone off in case it ever came out that he was involved. Yeah, Maria, that's a possibility. To be honest with you, I'm really struggling to figure out what Donald Trump's role in all of this is. He insists he did nothing wrong. Yet it seems like he's obstructing, prosecuting, going after the people who were involved. There's certainly a lot of indications that he had regular contact with Jeffrey Epstein at times. But the way I think this is going right now, if I had to guess, based on what I've seen so far, it really seems like this. It seems like Donald Trump probably was involved with Epstein at some point. The extent of that, I don't yet know, but I'm told there's some credible allegations that should have been investigated there. At some point, he turned on Epstein and he almost became kind of like an informant. So did he do horrible stuff before he thought, well, this guy is bad news. I better call it into the FBI? Was he still involved after that? Did he have anything to do with it beforehand? That I don't know, but there's some smart people that are going through the Epstein files with a fine-tooth comb, and hopefully we can get to the bottom of this, because I really think there needs to be arrests. And I don't think that this is a thing that we need to be divided on politically. I think we should all agree. Anybody who used their money, their influence, their position of power over someone else to exploit them the way that these Epstein victims were exploited, I think they should be prosecuted. This one is from Brandon. Hey, Scott, I just finished listening to your podcast. I am so over Doug Ford. He can shut up anytime now. I wanted your thoughts on something I heard in another conservative podcast. It was the Elevate podcast, and the host is Josh. He mentioned the other day about Doug Ford, that they could have put a conservative sack of potatoes in Doug Ford's place, and he still would have won a majority in the last election because Doug was basically running against nobody. Is that fairly accurate? Brandon, I don't know if that's accurate or not. I don't think you can take anything away from Doug Ford. Winning 3 majority governments in any circumstance is pretty impressive. I mean, the resume on him now is you can't take anything away from him. He didn't exactly have the strongest competition, though. I mean, the first time he ran against, Kathleen Wynne? Second time, Andrea Horvath and Stephen Del Duca. This time, Bonnie Crombie. Not great competition. Governments also get tired after a while, and the public gets tired of them. Could he win a 4th majority? I don't know. It seems like the Ontario Liberals are starting to get their act together, and that's going to be formidable competition for the Conservatives in Ontario. I think probably the Ontario Conservatives, the PCs, should be thinking about a secession plan for Doug. They should probably start getting somebody ready who's going to lead them through the next election. And Doug says he's running for 4 more years. He wants a 4th term, a 4th mandate. Will he get that, or will the party say, hey, listen, thanks, but the timing's not right and you got to go? We should also keep in mind that when Doug got elected the first time, it was under a circumstance where people were very sick of a tired Liberal government that had been running the show for a long time. Second time he got elected, coming out of COVID. Third time he got elected, well, that was when the Trump tariff stuff started. So twice he's been elected in an emergency situation, and that helps too. I guess I'm kind of all over the place here. Let me just put a bow on this by saying I think that Doug is a very smart politician. I think he's a little overly ambitious at the moment, but you can't take anything away from the guy. 3 majority governments is impressive. This next one is anonymous. I want to comment on something you said in last week's Listener DMs podcast about most Liberal voters being boomers and not seeing many younger ones. From my experience, that's not true. I work in consulting at one of the big 4, and about 99% of my coworkers, from partners and senior executives to consultants, are very vocal about the Liberals. They openly support what Carney says and constantly bash Trump in group chats and meetings. I usually stay quiet and feel like a closeted conservative because everyone around me shares the same view and is outspoken against the right. It doesn't stop there. I also completed my MBA a few years ago, and most of my school friends are similarly aggressive liberals with little appetite for opposing views. Hearing that you are running for office has inspired me to speak up, even though it feels daunting in such a liberal-centric circle. Thanks for spreading common sense and making great content. Well, Anonymous, thank you very much. I hear that a lot. There's a lot of people who just go with the flow, particularly in a professional setting. They don't want to go against the grain because, frankly, it's not worth the fight. I totally understand that. If you want to talk politics, though, I really think it needs to be civil discourse. I think that we should be allowed to openly, in a respectful way, disagree with each other. But there does seem to be a shadow over being conservative or talking about conservative values, and it really shouldn't be that way. At the end of the day, we can talk out an issue without trying to change each other's mind. There's something to be said for just talking about the different things that are facing us. It doesn't need to be adversarial, but I totally understand, and I hear it regularly from people that just don't want the fight. They don't want the argument, or they don't want to be treated like an outsider because they have different political views. Again, under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be this way. It never used to be this way. We used to be able to talk about our differences, but there's some people who are very vocal, and let's be honest here, people on the left tend to not necessarily, I'm trying to put all the different commas after this, be open to opposing views. And Donald Trump steers a lot of that. I think Donald Trump has actually hurt the conservative movement just as much as he's helped it. So take it for what it is. If you're in a setting where you don't feel like you can openly discuss your political views, then don't. It's okay. You don't have to have that conversation. There's a million different trivial things you could talk about without politics. If other people around you are being overly aggressive with their political views, tune it out, walk away. You don't need to get involved in it. Hey, it's your job and you got to protect it. But thank you for that note. I appreciate it. This one from Brandon. Scott, I think you're right about us having an April election. I just got this notification from my curling club. Hello, members. The club has an opportunity to rent the facility to Elections Canada for approximately 3 months beginning in mid to late March. The board discussed the potential details of this rental and made the following motion at last week's meeting. So interesting how the government and Elections Canada is preparing for an election for some reason, only a year into the current term. Yeah, Brandon, I've seen this coming for a while. At one point, I thought it was going to be a fall election, and now I'm convinced we're going to be voting this spring. They're going to try and say that the Conservatives are obstructing all kinds of legislation that the Liberals want to pass. But I think anybody who's paying attention knows that's simply not true. In fact, I don't think I can remember a time when the opposition was this accommodating of trying to pass things where the parties agree. Is there going to be an election? Yeah, there is. The reason? Mark Carney sees this as his best opportunity to get a mandate, and he's totally entitled to do that. He can call an election if he wants to. It happens fairly regularly. Is it right? Well, I mean, it's not wrong. He has the right to do it, but I'm going to be very suspicious of the circumstances. Mark Carney needs to convince the voters that we need an election. And if the excuse is going to be that the Conservatives are blocking legislation he wants to pass, that's simply not true. But I appreciate that note nonetheless. This one from Jordan. Scott, listening to today's episode reminded me of a conversation with friends. We were talking about how interesting it is that a spring election is being rumored at the same time that almost all levels of Canadian government seem to be poking the bear in America. It feels like a strategy to stall progress in Canada, provoke a reaction from the U.S., then blame the Americans for the lack of progress, and use that to secure another election win, just like they did last time around. Jordan, thank you. I mean, that's the strategy. That's it. When there is, when it seems like Canada is under attack or Donald Trump is taking advantage of Canada, that's what these parties are hoping for when we go to the polls. The Liberals, anyway. If they're going to ask for a majority mandate, they're going to say they need it for what reason? The Conservatives are blocking what we want to pass. That's not going to fly. It doesn't pass the smell test. So they've got to default to Donald Trump. And it worked for Doug Ford last year. It worked for Mark Carney last year. And I have a feeling it might work again in the spring. But as long as everybody keeps an open mind to what's in front of them, when we do eventually go to the polls, people are going to have to ask themselves, what's the most important thing to them? Now, I would say it's probably the cost of living and all of the different issues that we have domestically. I really don't think Donald Trump is the biggest problem that Canada is dealing with right now. We've got to get our own house in order. And if people agree that we need to do something about the cost of living, we need to fix our bail and justice system, if they agree that we also need to fix our immigration system and all of the other issues, then it's going to be a close race. I really feel it will be. Jordan, thank you for that. This is from Samantha. Hey, I was listening to the podcast and I heard the discussion about Girl Guides and Boy Scouts. When my son was in Boy Scouts a few years ago, girls were allowed to join. I even contacted Girl Guides to see if he could join. I was told no, that's for girls only. It seems like girls can have girls only organizations, but there's nothing specifically just for boys. I don't know about that. Samantha, I'm really not sure. I haven't thought that much about it. I didn't realize that girls could join the Boy Scouts. I also didn't know that boys couldn't join the Girl Scouts. I don't know why that would be, but there was no problem with the way we were doing it, was there? When I was growing up, you had the Boy Scouts and you had the Girl Guides, and people seemed pretty happy with that. I don't know why we started changing the rules. I'm not 100% sure. It's not a topic that I think about a lot, but interesting observation. So thank you very much. This one is from Jen, and she needs a little bit of help. Hey, I've been written up by HR following a complaint from my manager, and it's going on my permanent employment record under Code of Conduct. I've been with the company for years. I'm a strong employee, and I consistently do the right thing. I'm well liked by my colleagues and partners. This manager has been flagged to HR multiple times with no action taken. The complaint was completely one-sided and inaccurate compared to what actually happened. What do you or your listeners suggest I do? Do you have any HR professionals who know what avenue I should take? That's an interesting one, Jen. I'm certainly not an HR expert by any means, but I know that there are some HR folks who listen. That's the situation that she's in. If anybody has any good advice, let me know, and I will pass that on to her. It seems like, though, you should probably get a lawyer, and absolutely, I think you should document everything as quickly as possible with as much detail as you can. Anything else? If you're in HR and you've got some advice for her, let me know. Slide into my DMs, and I will pass that on. This one is from Wendy. Scott, just want to let you know, some of us teachers do have the Olympics on in class. I do in the office as well. Love listening to your pod. Wendy, thank you very much. It is good to know that kids do get to watch the Olympics. When I was in school, I used to love those distractions. You get kind of caught up in the day-to-day mundane stuff when the teacher comes in and says, hey, let's throw the Olympics on. That's a great day. So hopefully there are more teachers doing that. I don't see any problem with that personally. I know some might argue it's not good for education or they should be doing reading, writing, and math. I don't know. I think there's something to be said for watching the Olympics or whatever other big world event is happening. So, Wendy, good for you. Okay, next up, I've got a couple about the Olympics. This one is from Nick. Hey, Scott, I agree with you about Bad Bunny and the halftime show. I'm Portuguese, and I grew up listening to that kind of music. My two favorite halftime shows of all time are Michael Jackson's and J-Lo and Shakira's. The halftime show should be about music and entertainment, not about politics. But since the NFL has brought politics into it, here's my take. My parents immigrated to Canada from Portugal legally and can never be deported. I love living in a multicultural country, but it has to be done legally. You can't just break into someone's house and live there because you want to. The same applies to a country. Not sure why this isn't common sense to so many people. Anyway, love the pod. Have a great day. Nick, thank you very much. I tried to take politics out of it. I was pretty fair in my assessment of Bad Bunny's performance, and I thought it was good, not great. When it comes to immigration issues, again, this is something that we shouldn't be divided about. I thought we all agreed. We had a consensus on immigration for many years in this country. It got broken in the last 10 years, and now there's some people that are trying way too hard to defend it, and frankly, I can't figure out why. But I appreciate that note. This one from Mark. Scott, you mentioned on your pod that nobody sang the national anthem better than Whitney Houston did. I would say Chris Stapleton did one hell of a job also. Keep up the amazing work with your new adventure coming up. Does that mean you'll have to leave 92.1 or stop podcasting? Okay, Mark, great questions. And I'm going to concede, yes, you have a point there. Whitney Houston did the anthem, I think, better than anybody ever has or will. But Chris Stapleton was pretty damn good. If you want to Google that or YouTube it, he was fantastic. So full points for that one. And this is another question that I think is going to come up later on too. Will you be leaving 92.1 or stop podcasting? The simple answer is no. I have no intention of doing that. You know who I use as inspiration in a scenario like this? Ryan Seacrest. Ryan Seacrest has the ability to be able to do his morning radio show. Then he does his daytime stuff and he runs his business. Then he records the Wheel of Fortune. He also does all of the stuff for the Dick Clark type productions, and he does American Idol. If he can do all of that in a day, I'm pretty sure that I can manage the responsibilities that I'm going to have coming to me. I also want to point out, too, that we learned a lot during COVID about how to broadcast remotely and how to podcast remotely. And I'm going to tap into some great technology to be able to do that if I win. So the simple answer is no, I'm not coming off the radio. I'm certainly not stopping the podcast, but I am still interested in doing more to try and help out families, because I talk about this every day in the podcast, how much the middle class is suffering and how much that bothers me. And I think I've got more to give. I think I can help be part of the solution. So I'm not going to miss out on an opportunity to do that and make life more affordable for families. But I also got to keep my day job. Politics goes in 4-year cycles. I don't know what's going to happen after 4 years, but either way, I'd like to have a career to come back to when that's done. So no worries. I'm not going anywhere. This is from Sarah. And now we're going to get into some political DMs. Scott, I loved your announcement. I'm looking forward to hearing more. My question is, if you're running for office, will you still do the pod? Will you still be on the radio? I imagine you'd be too busy to do it all. Sarah, no. Like I said a few minutes ago to Mark, I am not intending to stop doing anything that I'm already doing. This is all part of a plan that I've got where I think I can do everything that I currently do and more, help out families, and make a real difference without having to change around my day that much at all. So thank you for being concerned. If you like listening to me on the radio or the podcast, don't worry. Neither of those are going anywhere. This one is from Alex. Hey, Scott, so excited about your announcement. Congratulations. My boyfriend, who's been listening to you for years and years, got me hooked on your pod. I listen every single day. Thank you very much, Alex. I appreciate you and your boyfriend. Thank you for listening. And there's not really much more I can say because right now I'm at a point where I'm doing a lot of work behind the scenes. I've got a great team that is helping me and coaching me and trying to get me in a position where I can win. So with that in mind, I'm still doing all the stuff I regularly do. The radio show, the podcast. I'm still working with Canada's University Field Lacrosse League. I am the commissioner of the league there and a few other things that you guys don't even know about. I'm busy, but I like to be busy and I like to give back. I do a lot of volunteer work, and I think that's important. I think all of us should when we have the ability to. The politics thing, that's not volunteering, but I think I can make a difference, and that's part of the reason that I stepped up. This next one is from Kim. Hey, Scott, first off, woohoo. I'm super excited about your announcement. Finally, someone's got a voice for the middle class. Also, thanks for last Monday's pod on what a difference in the hope factor. I still get messages about last Monday's pod. I played back just the important parts of Pierre Poilievre's speech about hope. And that seems to be a bit of a pivot for the federal Conservatives. They're now trying to sell a message of hope, and they're specifically appealing to the middle class. There's a lot of people who are desperate financially, and they don't see a lot of support for them. They see fake asylum claimants getting tons of support. They see very, very, very low income people getting support, but there's nothing for the middle class. For the middle class, they're still dealing with high inflation. Their property taxes are going up. Even if it's a smaller increase than last year, they are. There's a lot of pressure financially on the middle class. And if I can help be a voice for that and help affect a change, I certainly want to do that. Next DM is from David. Hey, Scott, longtime listener from back in your Z1035 and Scott and Kat podcast days. I just heard your announcement on the pod, and I want to say you are what the middle class folks need. Someone who actually gets what the middle class is going through and feels. I'm a resident of Markham Unionville. The Michael Ma floor crossing was disgusting. A lot of my neighbors who I've spoken to see it as nothing but a betrayal and a true letdown for voters. I just want to say good luck in this new endeavor. You will have my vote. Wishing you'd run in this riding, but I'm sure you'll do well in whatever riding you are in. Okay, David, I think you're reading a little bit into my announcement. I don't know if I can comment too much on ridings, but either way, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I agree with you on the Michael Ma floor crossing. I didn't like the way that went down. I thought it was shady. And I think voters, particularly in that riding, have a right to be disappointed. I also think we need to know more about foreign interference in that riding and others. So there's a lot of things up in the air at the moment, but it's on your mind, so it's on my mind. Thank you. From Adam. Scott, your announcement at the end of Tuesday's podcast has me welling up. Thank you. I want you to know how much support you truly have. From the bottom of my heart, I truly thank you, and I stand behind you 100%. Adam, don't worry. Help is on the way. And thank you for the support. In fact, thank you, everybody, for the support. I have been underwater for 3 days going through DMs, hundreds of them coming in with people sending messages just like that. You'll hear a few of them still to come in this episode, but I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. From Nadia. OMG, just finished your pod. Whatever you're running for, I'm behind you. I put a lot of trust and faith in you because you have 100% earned it. Thank you for loving us and having our back. Now we are going to do the same for you. Sending lots of love from Kitchener, Ontario. Wow, Nadia, thank you. I appreciate that. I just want to help. I just want to make things better for the middle class. I want to get us back to prosperity. It wasn't that long ago that you could have a pretty darn good life on middle class money. And right now that dream is gone. It wasn't that long ago that if you worked hard and followed the rules, you would have a nice house of your own, a nice car in the driveway, you'd take a nice vacation once a year, and you weren't living lavish lifestyles, but you still had everything you needed and wanted. And that dream has been taken away from us. And I want to be part of the solution to try and get that back. So thank you. Great note. Cheryl. Scott, congratulations. I feel hope for the first time in a long time. As a listener of yours since the Z1035 early days, I have not missed a single podcast, and I want you to know you already have my vote. Would also love to support your campaign as it rolls out in whatever way you need. Looking forward to hearing more. Thank you. I will announce more when I can. And if you missed this announcement, I did it at the end of Tuesday's podcast. About 11 minutes left. If you want to fast forward to that, you can hear the announcement as I made it that day. I'm absolutely going to need help. No doubt about it. I'm going to need help. I can admit that, and that's something I don't usually admit when I need a hand, but I'm going to need it. I appreciate the support. Stay tuned. As soon as I can give you more details, which I figure is going to be in about 2 to 3 weeks, I will absolutely get back to you. This one is from Anya. Congratulations. You've got my vote if it's an area I can vote in. Hoping it's in Ontario. You're going to be amazing. Woo woo. Scott Fox for Premier? Oh, Premier Scott Fox. Thank you. I don't think that is in the cards for me. I don't think so. And to be honest with you, I think we've got some great candidates that want to be premier that would probably do a good job. As I said earlier, I don't know how long Doug Ford is going to stick around, but I would advise the PCs to start thinking about what comes next. And frankly, as I look at it and I look at what is working and what's not working, I see a potential premier in Stephen Lecce. Right now, he is doing some incredible work increasing Ontario's profile when it comes to nuclear power. And the job he has gotten done on that file is nothing short of impressive. And he's not the only one. Carolyn Mulrooney might make a great premier. Peter Bethenfalvey, our finance minister, he might make a good premier. There's a lot of people in there that might be good. And I didn't even name all of them. And I haven't even touched the Liberal candidates. But I'm open to that, too. I just want somebody who actually cares about the middle class and putting more money in people's pockets. Whoever does that, whoever has the best platform for that and is the most trustworthy to implement it, they're going to have my vote because that's what I think we need right now. But great note. Thank you. Scott, I'm so excited for you. I've been waiting for you to make this big step into politics for so long. Congratulations on the big decision. Oh, that's it. Anonymous. Thank you. I appreciate that. Just so you know, Anna, even though she's not here with me reading your DMs today, was kind enough to organize the DMs and print them off for me. I haven't read these yet, so I'm not 100% sure which ones made it into the DMs episode, but there were literally hundreds of them to choose from. So thank you, Anna, for curating this collection. This is from Andrea. Scott, you just made my day. I'm so excited and so proud of you. I would move cities just to vote for you. Man, you guys are making it hard to get through this. I'm really overwhelmed with the amount of support. I really can't thank you enough. And I'm just getting started. Just getting started. We're going to try and make a change, and we're going to try and put the middle class back in the spotlight because that's where it should be. Another anonymous one. Just finished your podcast. I think you're shooting higher than mayor. The little slip of you having a French coach makes me believe you're going to try and run for federal politics. Thank you. I can't say much. I can't. But I would also point out, don't read too much into me learning French. It's an ongoing process. I don't know how long it's going to take me to be completely fluent. I did start learning Italian, and I'm finding the same thing with French as I found with Italian in that I can understand a lot more than I can say. Now, do I actually need to be able to speak French? The simple answer is yes. We're a bilingual country, and I think we forget that sometimes. I think it's important that if somebody needs a government service, they should be able to access that in English and French. And I think if I want to be a representative of the people, which is my goal, then I should be able to communicate with people who speak French or who prefer to communicate in French. So that's my goal there. Don't read too much into it. But yeah, I'm in the process of trying to improve my French skills. And it's been a while, but I'll tell you, man, does it ever come back quick. I think back to those painful grade 7, 8, and 9 French lessons when I was in school, and I thought, I don't need to know this. Well, lo and behold, like 30 years later, I kind of need to know this. So if you're in school and you're taking French, pay attention. You're going to need to know it at some point in all likelihood. Let's go again. From Odette. Just finished your Tuesday episode. Yes. Congratulations. I no longer live in Ontario, but I would vote for you hands down. Also, my husband and I have a bet. I think you're going to run federally. You would need a French coach for provincial, or you wouldn't need a French coach for provincial or municipal. And you also mentioned Hope. He thinks provincial. I'm usually always right. Can't wait for your full announcement. Congratulations and all the best. Odette, again, learning French, I think is just obligatory. I think people who want to serve the public should be able to speak to them in both official languages. And that's part of the reason that I am learning French. Again, don't read too much into it, but I'll have some more details coming soon. This is from Rhonda. Scott, I just heard your announcement and I'm so excited. You are exactly, all caps, what this country needs. I'm saying country instead of city or province because you mentioned you're working on your French. You've got my vote 100%. Thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate that. From Mike. Scott, I just finished today's pod. I was really glad to hear that you're running for office. It's refreshing to hear a true middle-class Canadian speaking for people like us after years of elites telling us what we want while giving us little of what we need. I'm happy to support you, and I look forward to your upcoming announcements. I've traditionally held liberal values, and I've usually voted that way. But over the last few governments, I've been disappointed by how our tax dollars have been handled and by broken promises. This goes beyond party loyalty. It's about everyday Canadians. I truly believe you have our best interests at heart. Your passion for this country and desire to create a real change makes me proud. Mike, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. I love this country. I love the Canadian people. I love middle-class people, though, specifically. I love people that work hard and just want to create a great life for themselves and their family. And it's getting harder and harder to do, and that's not okay. Again, if I can be part of the change that helps families out, I'm going to do whatever I can do. And if it means coming out of my comfort zone, if it means doing something that I wouldn't normally do, then I'm willing to do it. That's how important it is to me that we get this country back on track, and we're going to do it one specific area at a time. And I'll tell you more about that soon. But thank you. I appreciate that note. This one is from Alan. Scott, I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you. I can't wait to hear what you're running for. You'll have my vote if I can, depending on where you're running. Keep up the great work. You are doing an amazing job on the pod. Thank you. This one is from Sonia. Scott, tell me you're running in Cambridge. Sonia, I don't think that is going to be in the cards. I really don't. Although I was born in Cambridge and I got a lot of family there as well, and a real deep connection to the Cambridge community. One thing I would say about that is I think you guys need a new mayor in Cambridge. Specifically, I think you need a new mayor, the new representatives at the region, and new people running your city hall. And if there's anybody who's interested in stepping up to run for that position, I will be happy to talk to you about that. Next note is from Jen. I just listened to your podcast. OMG, you're running. Yes. I'm dying to know what level you're running for. I hope it's a ballot I can vote for you on. Thank you for doing what you do. Appreciate that, Jen. Thank you. By the way, it is getting harder and harder to get through these DMs. I mean, doing this on my own, no extra voice here, that's hard to do on its own. In fact, I'm starting to lose my voice here, but I am getting closer to the end. But the nice words, the support, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I feel the love coming through in these DMs. This is from John. Scott, congratulations on taking such a big step to make a change that is so desperately needed. Regardless of what you're running for or where, I know you are the one to get it done. I have a feeling I will not be eligible to vote because my guess is going to be you're running at the municipal level, and I don't live where you do. However, if you're running for something that I can vote for, you've got my vote and my support. I'm one of your day one listeners, haven't missed an episode. I support you 100%. John, thank you. And I don't know how many more of these I can do here, to be honest with you, because they are all very similar. But I do want to acknowledge a few of these here. This is from Allison. Scott, congratulations on deciding to run. I'm proud of you. Happy to see this. I'm from Brantford. I really hope I'll be able to vote for you there. I can't wait to see your name on the ballot. In all seriousness, what can I do to support you? Allison, at the moment, and for everybody else wondering, Nothing at the moment. There's stuff going on behind the scenes. I'm getting a few things together, which are obligatory. You got to do them if you're going to run. But stand by, because I will need help. Absolutely. I got to spread the word, and I'm going to have a small window there to try and get the word out about the change that could be made if people want to trust me with their vote. So stay tuned. I will let you know more soon. This from Jesse. Scott, I had to take a few minutes after listening to today's podcast to process my emotions. Your announcement gave me hope, which I don't often feel these days. I won't guess what you're aiming for, but it's clear you're thinking big. I don't have a resume to send, but I've got experience organizing people and events. I'm comfortable speaking to crowds. I'm good with people, especially seniors, and I'm willing to knock on doors and spread your name. At the end of the day, I'm passionate about saving the country we grew up in. Jesse, again, thank you. This is overwhelming, but I'm going to take you up on that, though. Anybody who wants to help, I'm going to need it, and I appreciate that. Scott, I'm so damn proud of you. You would be such a valuable presence in our corrupt government. I know how passionate you are about actually helping people, and I am damn excited to see what changes you hope to make. I, as well as many others, are going to be there to support you. That's another nice note. Thank you. From Tanya, congratulations on whatever you're running for. I'm wishing you a successful win. I admit it, I skipped ahead to the end of the podcast to hear the announcement before I went back to the beginning and listened to the whole thing. Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate that. You were excited, and so was I. Nervous, but very excited. From Katie. Just wanted to say I was excited to hear your announcement. I did a little dance while I was driving home. Our country needs more people like you. Hey, I couldn't agree more. And I know there's like-minded people that listen to this pod every day. You too could be part of the solution. And I'm going to talk more about that in April. Last one I'm going to do for today because I'm losing my voice and it's almost a long weekend. But Michelle says, good luck, Scott. I can see you doing very well in office. Sometimes the universe has a weird way of steering us towards what we should really be doing. There's a lot of truth to that. There's a hell of a lot of truth to that. I don't know what it is, but I'll be honest with you. I feel like I'm being pulled in this direction. And I can't explain it, but I'm going to trust my gut and I'm going to do it. Friends, I don't think there's going to be an episode over the weekend, but you never know. There might be. There's a lot of stuff happening right now, and it's a weird time for our country. So if something big happens, I may just do an episode over the long weekend. If I don't, just know I am thinking about you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. In Ontario, it is Family Day weekend and a few other provinces as well. Think about your family. Think about what's important to your family. Think about the goals that you've got for your family and ask yourself what it's going to take to achieve those goals. I think it's a lot more attainable with more of your money in your pocket. I think you can spend your money way better than government can. And I think you can do it a lot more efficiently too. Hug your kids, hug your people, the people around you that you love. Spend some quality time with them this weekend. Maybe even put the phone down. Be present. Enjoy Family Day. Happy Valentine's Day. I don't believe that this is a Hallmark holiday. I think this is just an annual reminder that if you haven't recently, you should make sure the person you care about knows how much you care about them. Without family, it's very limited what we've got in front of us. We all need a support system, and here's hoping that you get some quality time with the people you care about this weekend. Friends, family, whomever. Friends, have a good one. Thank you for listening. I will, as always, leave you with the sounds of Pat James and the whole truth. Hey now, I'll see you on Tuesday at the latest.